Hey everyone, Steve here, and in this video I'm going to be looking at the Sunwaytek H510 controller that's compatible with the Nintendo Switch and PC. Now, I'm a bit late to the game on this one. This is a controller that came out a few years ago, and while the website's still up and links you to a page on Amazon, it doesn't actually seem to be available there at the moment, so you may have luck trying to find it somewhere else like eBay. Now, the big draw for this controller is that the main buttons, as you can see here, look a bit weird because they're actually fully mechanical as opposed to using some sort of rubber membrane that kind of makes the contacts within the controller. This is a mechanical switch, much like you'd find in an arcade stick button or a mechanical keyboard. Now, this is new old stock, but as you can see here, the box hasn't actually got a lot going on. It's just got a picture of the controller with the Sunwaytek logo there. Sunwaytek's not really a company that I've heard of before. The compatibility, so I said Nintendo Switch and PC, but you've also got Android, Linux, Fire TV, and I think that's Google Stadia. And as we can see here, it's just called wireless controller with the model number SG H510. So let's open it up. So inside, it seems like we've just got the controller in a bag, a nice USB cable, that's USB-C on this end and USB-A on this end. Quick look at the manual, nothing too fancy here. Again, picture of the controller on the front. Visit Sunwaytek for support. I guess you could do that. And it's also got a QR code for video guides on YouTube. In the manual itself, we've actually just got the different instructions on how to pair it with different platforms. But something I found interesting is that the actual keycaps for the A, B, X, Y buttons are removable because, you know, even though Nintendo and Xbox use the same ones, they are in different positions. So that's actually a pretty nice touch. In general, the way it seems that you pair this controller is you press the middle button and one of these for face buttons. So here you can see you press B, or you press X, or you press Y, and so on and so forth. So now for a look at the controller itself. Whoa, this definitely feels a little weird because it's hard to tell. I guess I can get it from this angle, but even though you've got, you know, your big grips here, the controller immediately slopes downwards. So it's as if, you know, it's basically flat and doesn't really stick out, which for comparison, you know, with Xbox or PlayStation controllers, everything kind of sticks out the face. Okay, so I haven't pressed anything yet. I've just moved this stick a little bit, which feels normal. Sticks feel normal. Triggers don't have any click at all, which is funny. And neither do the bumpers. It seems like these are normal membrane controllers. This one actually has no response at all. It just kind of presses down at the end, which feels really weird. And the D-pad, now it looks like the Xbox Elite D-pad or the ones on the normal series controllers, but it's not super clicky. I'm gonna hold it up to the microphone for 1 second here. That's all right, but it's not amazing. And the actual function buttons also aren't clicky. So let's press the face buttons. What the heck? I guess I was expecting this to like audibly click, but it's not really. I guess it's a silent kind of switch. There's no tactile response there, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not the biggest stickler about that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just interesting to me that, I don't know. I guess, you know, mechanical switches come in all shapes and sizes and sounds and feels. But I guess given that it seems like that was the main selling point for this controller, that it would be kind of clicky, but that's totally fine. It does feel a little weird that you can't just roll your fingers like this on it because, again, they're quite raised. So it almost feels like your thumb would get stuck in between these things. And I definitely think like random dust and lint is going to accumulate there. So I'm not looking forward to that in the future. But yeah, it's overall just a controller with a little, I would say it's a gimmick. I don't want to be too harsh to it, but the fact that these buttons are like this, I would say is kind of a gimmick. I'm just going to try and pull these off and see if I can replace those easily. Well, okay, there we are. Okay, cool, awesome. So as you can see, that's what the button looks like. And I think you can imagine that inside there. I'm not going to disassemble this, but you see there, that's a switch, right? Like if you watch keyboard videos or if you're into that sort of thing, you know, that kind of thing. This is just a keycap and you've got a switch in there that moves up and down. And, whoa, kind of goes back in with no resistance, which is good, and it doesn't fall out. But yeah, you could, I guess, rearrange these in any way you wanted, but it would be kind of confusing if they didn't match either Xbox or Switch. Ergonomically, I think it's actually a little weird because you have to press the bumpers all the way at the top. You know, usually you get a little bit of a thing here to press on the corner, but yeah, you have to fully kind of curl your finger and form a claw to press the bumpers. The triggers themselves are all right. This just feels so weird. I knew it would feel weird because of how tall these are and how much travel these buttons would have, but actually having it in my hands, I don't know. Anyways, let's load up our favorite game. Oh, and for the test, I'm just going to be using it wired. And obviously this is brand new, the battery's probably dead. Okay, so funnily enough, the included cable that they have is really short. Like, I would say it's only, if you're American, 2 feet long, Australian, maybe just under a meter or something like that. But I actually have to use a USB extension cable to be able to get it to work in the way I have my desk set up. Okay, so I've got the controller tester up here. Whoa, the analog stick's actually pretty nice. They're nice and smooth. And obviously we get full range of motion, so that's really nice. The right analog stick is good with your X and Y rotations. The sensitivity. Okay, so for these triggers, the sensitivity is all right. They must be using magnetic sensors. The left one is all right, but the right one kind of sucks. I don't know. Ooh, you can see it's really finicky. Like, it doesn't actually start moving until I am almost halfway down, whereas the left one starts moving almost immediately. So that's something to consider. And these buttons seem to be working fine. This button right here is home, and this is, I guess, just this proprietary pairing button. Just for reference, D-pad is all right. I'm definitely going to be trying this out on a fighting game just cause, but this is going to be hard because it feels kind of weird. And just reference, not sure if I said it before, but yes, Windows is seeing this as a normal Xbox 360 controller, so obviously it's communicating with Windows via X input, so that's good. Typical of me, I want to test this out on Just Cause 2. It's just a game I know really well. Man, you think it would be nice having kind of like a smooth glide with these buttons, but it kind of also doesn't feel like you're pressing anything. It's weird. It's nice though, responsive. In terms of even just the shape, it's pretty nice and it's compact, I guess you would say, relatively speaking. But yes, these triggers are giving me cause for concern. Maybe it's just something to do with the magnet in this one. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with magnetic triggers. I don't think I've got any controllers with them, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a standard PS4 controller has them, I don't know. But I can't slowly accelerate. As in, I have to hold it halfway down, which you'd think would be halfway acceleration, but it's only starting in the middle. And pressing it full down does give you the full speed, but I don't know. This D-pad is so weird. It's tall too. Like, the D-pad is tall. Again, I'm not sure if this is like the Xbox Elite controller. I don't really have one. I don't know. And even in selecting weapons, it feels so weird. I'm sure it's something you can get used to. I don't know if I like this. Well, I actually don't tend to subtly drive in this kind of game anyways, so maybe it's fine that I just have to press full bore every time. Okay, so actually in terms of game testing, I might just leave it there with Just Cause 2 because I don't really want to test this out on fighting games because I know I'm really going to hate the D-pad for that, to be honest. And I'm not really a big analog stick fighting game guy. So I guess in terms of final thoughts, I have to say that if the idea of a mechanical switch controller interests you, then this might be something that's worth giving a go, but for the most part, the switches are silent. So if you like the silent type of thing, maybe this is your speed, but for the most part, I don't really know what benefit that this kind of thing would offer over a normal controller. You know, the shape is different, so you're gonna have to get used to that. The way that the buttons are all kind of lower profile than the grips. I had a problem with this trigger, it doesn't seem that responsive, so maybe that's just this one unit, who knows. But it is multi-platform, I suppose, which is interesting and I guess kind of useful, but I don't think it's more multi-platform than most other third-party controllers. This is a few years old, again, I'm a bit late to the boat here, but I just wanted to check it out because the idea of these kinds of buttons really interested me. In reality, it's only just all right, I suppose. I might just give this to someone else as some sort of like prank controller because it feels so weird that they'd be taken aback by how different it feels. All right, so this D-pad is clicky. It's not silent, but these ones are. Don't want to confuse anyone. Anyways, that's it for the Sunwaytek H510 or 11. I think that the difference between these model numbers are one's black and one's white. I'm not too sure, which would be kind of weird. But anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Be sure to check out the other videos on my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.